It's been over a year since you left, and yeah, I regret not being my best, being on the edge of death, afraid to face what's next. I've been a wreck, I'll admit, I need a refresh, I'll confess. Today I took my first steps to address my issues and start to accept that it's time to move on and embrace the unknown. So I erased your number from my phone, and I'm sure you probably lost mine shortly after our relationship shattered, but that doesn't matter, cause I wanna start to close that chapter. I still resent you, and that'll take some work, but I'm done letting it get worse. I'm ready to start to let go of the hurt and try to fix the bridge I burnt with you in the end, cause maybe in another life we can try again. Do you remember Leroy St? Do you remember Meadow East, where we cuddle for heat and fall fast asleep? It was close to heaven, apartment N7. Do you remember Leroy St? Do you remember Meadow East? Don't forget about me when you find your heaven, cause we'll always have apartment N7. It's been 3 years now since we last spoke, and I still sometimes talk to your ghost. The only difference is I now talk about hope, like I hope life showed you the most and took you down a golden road. And me, while I sent my last pill down my throat and stopped keeping my liver afloat in booze. Oh, and I'm a little less broke, and I mean that in more ways than you can imagine, cause I'm starting to feel a renewed passion for everything I used to love in life, like bright stars in the sky at night, or a beat that gets the mood just right. Do you know what that's like, to feel that passion? I think you might, and I hope you do. I'm okay, I hope you are too. Do you remember Leroy St? Do you remember Meadow East, where we cuddle for heat and fall fast asleep? It was close to heaven, apartment N7. Do you remember Leroy St? Do you remember Meadow East? Don't forget about me when you find your heaven, cause we'll always have apartment N7. It's been 8 years, God, it's been so long. 8 years for me to understand how to end this song. So consider this my psalm to our past, your present, future, and beyond. I'm sorry for all the pain I brought you and everything I put you through. There's no blame. You had to stay true to you and do what you had to do to become the woman you needed to be. And I might be a teacher, but you taught me the best lesson I could ever dream to teach. See, when you meet those moments of grief and defeat that knock you to your knees and make it hard to breathe, what matters the most is getting back to your feet. So I'll sail my boat back to Leroy St, cause in the end you were still my reason to believe. Do you remember Leroy St? Do you remember Meadow East, where we cuddle for heat and fall fast asleep? It was close to heaven, apartment N7. Do you remember Leroy St? Do you remember Meadow East? Don't forget about me when you find your heaven, cause we'll always have apartment N7. Do you remember Leroy St? Do you remember Meadow East, where we cuddle for heat and fall fast asleep? It was close to heaven, apartment N7. Do you remember Leroy St? Do you remember Meadow East? Don't forget about me when you find your heaven, cause we'll always have apartment N7.